So you started studying the Paul Winchell tape, and did you use any other, I guess, informational products or any other type of instruction or courses to progress as a ventriloquist?
Yeah, I did. Once I was serious about embarking on this adventure, there are two things I had to consider. How do I format a show, and how do I compensate for what I'm giving up? And what I'm giving up means, as a puppeteer, I'm not visible. So we used a lot of props, sound effects, all sorts of traditional like chase scenes and things like, gee, you can't do that as a ven. How am I going to compensate for that? So my first step was I bought Mark Waid's book, and that sort of answered some of my questions right off. It had a format, even a way to integrate your what are they going to say? Integrate magic and visual effects. I said, well, maybe the magic can be part of what I do with the puppetry instead of some independent element in the show. And that got me thinking about how I could integrate it into the actual performance and the characterization of the puppet itself. Or just to be some stupid gag would be fine as well. So Mark Waid's book was the first serious instruction. My wife also had the Valentine Vox book.
Mm-hmm.
That ended up being real inspirational because I read that through a number of times. I was fascinated by the stage form, and especially one photograph of John Cooper. All right, African American, one of the few that was working full time in the circuit where there was white audiences, and he had this barbershop scenario. It didn't used to just be one performer and a puppet. They had these scenes that they would enact, and I found that really intriguing. Being more into the puppet theater and with less experience as just a ventriloquist, and I saw that barbershop scene, and that was the inspiration for my It's Alive show.
Okay, very cool.
If you look at that and then look at pictures of my show, how it's set up, you'll see the connection. I'd love to see more about the guy. There's just not much available.
Have you checked with the Van Haven Museum about him?
I had asked, at one point a few years ago, I had asked Tom Ladshaw if he had any additional photographs, because there are maybe 2 or 3 that I've seen, and nothing has turned up other than those. But there was an episode on that Mystery Detectives,
mm-hmm.
History Detectives, because I think it's a PBS show.
Okay.
And they had found one of his figures, and they traced it back to being his. And he was right here in New York. I believe he was in Brooklyn. If I'm not mistaken, the story goes that Shari Lewis, as a young kid, met him in a park in New York, and he started teaching her ventriloquism. Now, that's one story I've heard. I guess Mallory can confirm or deny or add to the mystery of that.